Good Yontif, everyone.
Good Yontif.
Chag Sameach. A few headlines as our spring calendar continues to unfold. This Monday evening will be our Yom HaShoah commemoration with Saul Shulman sharing his remarkable story of survival. And a special invitation goes out to children, I would say age 10 and up. Our teenagers have a responsibility to hear the stories of the survivors. Our children are the last generation who will be able to receive this testimonial. The following Tuesday, April 21, together with many local Israeli families, we will commemorate Yom HaZikaron and celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. So please be part of that embrace of local Israelis who are looking for a taste of home on those sacred days. The following Tuesday evening, April 28th, Holy Blossom Temple is honored to host a community-wide event with Yehuda Kurtzer, president of the Shalom Hartman Institute. This is the Gewurz lecture, and Yehuda's topic will be the aspirational Zionism and the moral imagination. And finally, Holy Blossom Temple is celebrating 170 years strong. Yes, you will not want to miss this magnificent anniversary party, Monday night, May 11th, with north of Broadway, a dessert reception and some big reveals about the future of Jewish education at Holy Blossom Temple. Immediately following our service today, all are welcome to the Schwartz-Briesman Atrium for lunch, which is generously sponsored by Isidore and Marcel Philosophe in memory of Raphael Philosophe and Marie Philosophe. May their memories be for blessing. A poem entitled Pesach by the Jewish-Italian chemist and partisan and Holocaust survivor and writer Primo Levi. He wrote it April 9th, 1982, and this is one of many translations from the original Italian. Tell me, how is this night different from all other nights? How, tell me, is this Passover different from all other Passovers? Light the lamp, open the door wide, so that the pilgrim may enter, be he Gentile or Jew. Perhaps the prophet is concealed under his rags. Let him enter and sit down with us. Let him listen, drink, sing, and celebrate. Let him consume the bread of affliction, the paschal lamb, sweet mortar, and bitter herbs. This is the night of differences, the night we eat the bread of affliction, the night we lean on our elbows at the table since the forbidden is prescribed and evil is translated into good. We will spend the night recounting far-off events full of wonder, and because of all the wine, the hills will prance like rams. Tonight, they exchange questions, the wise, the wicked, the simple-minded, and the child, and time reverses its course, today flowing back into yesterday like a river enclosed at its mouth. Each of us has been a slave in Egypt, has soaked straw and clay with sweat, and crossed the sea dry-footed. You too, stranger, this year in fear and shame, next year in strength and justice. The Hebrew word seder means order. The 15 steps of the seder are meant to bring order out of chaos. But the storytelling within the seder is chaotic, a time warp from the wandering Aramaean to Pharaoh's brick cities, to the sea crossing, to Rabban Gamliel's symposium until the morning Shema, to rousing choruses of Hallel and Elijah's forever messianism, to the Chag Gadya wheel of fate and fortune, to us and to our children who are nervous and primed for Manishtana. At the Seder table, every time and era is present tense. Every story of threat and every glory of survival is now. And every hope for opening the door to a lasting peace among neighbors seems absolutely possible. At the Seder table, the chaotic time warp of Jewish existence collapses in on itself until past and future become an eternal present. And the grand finale, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be God, renders the angel of death powerless. No death, no end of time, only life eternal. Bashana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem, a complete suspension of time and space. Is it a joke? Is it a magic trick? Is it a delusion? An expression of messianic piety? Is it a dream, if we will it? I believe it is a profound exercise in metaphors and discernment. Over and over again, the Seder instructs us to ask, how is this like that? And how is this not like that? How is now like then? How is now not like then? How is that bitterness? How does it compare to other bitterness? How was that enslavement different from enslavement in our own time? How are those saltwater tears like my own tears? How was that rescue different from the rescue we seek in our own day? How can that age-old hope prompt our own and prop up our own? The capacity to ask, how is this like that and how is this not like that? This is the Jewish superpower of discernment. It helps us to see what is more clearly, and simultaneously it helps us to imagine what could be, if only. Every year we strive to make the Seder relevant, and current events and current experiences resonate. We bring prompts to spark conversation around the table. This year, however, I admit the comparisons were too close to comfort. The words of the page challenged us uniquely this year, not because they were irrelevant or distant, but because they felt too relevant, too close. Rabbi Professor Dalia Marks of Hebrew Union College's Jewish Institute of Religion's campus in Jerusalem offers a helpful framing. I want to share it with you now. 3 simple questions. The first you'll recognize, Ma nishtana? What's different now? And then Dr. Marks asks, Ma lo nishtana? What hasn't changed? And finally, Ma nishaneh? What must we change? So first, Ma nishtana, what's different now? Last year we prayed for the hostages to come home, and thank God those prayers were received. This year we pray for protection from cluster bombs, and we pray that the ceasefire will hold. This year we admit to a real threat right here too. Hateful speech has turned to hateful acts right here in Canada. Something has broken like the middle matzah. Our high-trust society has become a high-distrust society, and we worry there may be no way back. Second, Ma lo nishtana, what hasn't changed? What is still constant and true? What is dependable and predictable? When I brought this question to our Seder, there was a palpable relief around the table. Yes, we are still here together. Love of family has not changed. Yes, Pesach comes every spring. Our calendar of holidays anchors us. No matter what has come undone in the world, no matter what has unraveled in our own lives, Pesach comes, ready or not. Yes, the rituals which sustained our ancestors, the prayers which sustained our ancestors, no matter where or when they walked, these have not changed. They carry us now through whatever we walk, wherever we walk. The things that remain steadfast are the things that anchor us and enable us to be strong and steady when the winds of this world blow. And third, ma nishaneh, what must we change? What can we do to let our Israeli family and friends and colleagues know that we are with them? They are exhausted. Between sirens, we can call to break up the boredom in the shelters. We can drop them a simple note to let them know that we are praying for their protection. And Friday, Arts of Canada will announce an encouragement for donations to the IMPJ, to the Israel Movement for Progressive Judaism. Those are our sister Reform synagogues in Israel. And we'll also encourage you to contribute to Magen David Adom to support the recovery efforts. What change can come here through our democratic rights to advocate for change right here, to insist on our freedom of religion right here? Please follow the action items prepared by our advocacy committee in every edition of Life at Holy Blossom every other Friday. And what misjudgments can we correct by building bridges among fellow Torontonians of different heritages and religions? What fears can be tempered? What differences can be better understood? What hard stances can be softened through face-to-face conversation and shoulder-to-shoulder shared projects? We are relaunching our Interfaith Committee this season. If you'd like to be involved in it, please speak with Rabbi Kay. Professor Marx's 3 questions are also instructive for mourners. So on this Yom Tov, as we prepare for Yizkor, let's consider them again, this time for you who mourn. First, ma nishtana. How is it different for you now? You know all too well it is different. You know who is missing from your table. You may set it with their beautiful things. You may light their beautiful candlesticks. You may sing their favorite Haggadah melodies and taste their favorite Pesach recipes, but the ache of their absence is real. What's different now? You are different, because life without them has changed you too. And admitting and acknowledging how so is important. Second, ma lo nishtana. What hasn't changed? How you remember them has not changed. What they stood for, what values they instilled in you, what life's lessons they taught you, these have not changed. What stories they told you, you try to tell and retell them unchanged. You can still hear their voices retelling those stories. You can still hear their voices in the back of your mind guiding you this way or that way as questions arise. You can still hear their expressions. You can see the wave of a hand or a glance, a knowing glance across the room that lets you know exactly how they felt. What hasn't changed? Their imprint on you has not changed. You know this is true. You may remember them often, but at this hour of Yizkor, we get to do a very private thing together, communally. Today, we remember them in this holy place, and we acknowledge that memories of them too are sacred. Ordinary memories are elevated and sanctified, and we pray that God will watch over them always. And finally, ma nishaneh, what must we change? We who mourn must be willing to change. We must continue to grow even without them. We must continue to grow because of them. It is a sign of strength and health to continue to grow, even without them at our side. You know this is what they would want for you. And they would want to see how your family grows too. They would want you to delight in how the next generation is rising up to take its turn. As it is written, Dor holech v'dor ba, one generation goes and the next generation comes along. So let us be fearless in asking these three questions. Ma nishtana, ma lo nishtana, and ma nishaneh. What is different? What hasn't changed? What must we change? When we ask and answer these three questions, the collapse of time then corrects itself. When we ask and answer these questions of discernment, we bring more seder, we bring more order to our lives, and suddenly the past, present, and future distinguish themselves from one another once again. We can walk through this lifetime with greater clarity, greater courage, and greater commitment for as long as God blesses us with life. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.